So let's talk about dealing with difficult people. The old way of helping us deal with difficult people is where the person comes up with a bunch of types of difficult people, the 10 types, the 15 types or whatever, gives them a special name like, just for example, the avoider, the energy sucker, the know-it-all. Then they give us a description of each type and then some ideas for dealing with them. Now, rarely do they clearly identify what the problem is, what the wrongdoing is that's been committed by the type, but we'll leave that for now. The ideas that they give us for dealing with these people are usually quite general in nature and sometimes they're even quite vague. And the ideas often get repeated for the different types of difficult people because a strategy that might be useful for using for one type of difficult person can be useful for another. So it's great if you're writing a book, you can just repeat a lot of the information. So as you've probably noticed, there's quite a few problems with the old way, or what should be the old way. You start by identifying which of the types given match the difficult person you're dealing with at the time, which can be a bit difficult if you're in a bit of a rush. But look, I've documented 52 types of difficult people based on their actual observable behaviour. So with the old way, you'd need 52 lots of these sets of helpful ideas. And what if the particular type of difficult person you're dealing with isn't actually in the list of 15? As I said, I've documented 52, so quite likely it's not there. But it actually gets worse. Here's something that a lot of the people trying to get us to use the old method, old way, don't seem to know. Most difficult people are either not really completely one type or the other. There's some sort of mixture. And very often a difficult person, a truly difficult person, can switch from one type to another, sometimes during the one conversation. So now what? I think the old way has some really major problems with it, especially when it comes to the strategies listed. They're often quite vague. We need something more specific. So how about this wild idea? How about we have a repeatable, practical method that you can use for every type of difficult person without trying to figure out, they're of this or that's that, or they're Mr. Negative, that's who they are, or whatever it happens to be. What if you just had a repeatable, practical method you could use each time you had to deal with someone you decided was poorly behaved or difficult? A repeatable method? That makes sense, doesn't it?